So this is similar to the previous lesson, whereas I am just going to interchange the position of the image, likewise the text. You can always use a div instead of a section, but it's up to you. Properly declare the rows and columns. I'll copy and paste this column for me to create a 2-column layout. For a challenge, you can create 4 columns with different contents. I will insert an image, followed by the icon, a title for the column, and a content. Just follow along with this tutorial. Again, make sure that you have saved the image inside the folder of your project so that you can easily access them. If you do not know how, you can go back to our previous videos. On the second column, I'll insert an H2 for the title of the second row, likewise an icon. You can always use the icon provided by Bootstrap similar to our previous lesson, or utilize the icon that I asked you to download. If you don't have any, try to visit flaticon.com and download an icon related to your project. Set the container to fluid. Then, let's remove the padding on the sides by setting padding on the x-axis or simply px-0. So this is how it looks like if not arranged properly. We are missing some components, and let's remove some. And I'll try to use similar image than the first to make it organize. Remember, what we are doing is just the structure for a better output. Then after that we will be replacing everything once we are done. Set the class of the image to fluid. This way, it will take up the end-to-end of the column that we have created. I'll replace the image now with the same image above. Now we set the row to be aligned at the center, using the Align Item Center class. Next, set the last column containing the H2 icon to center by Text to Center class. Since I have a big icon, I'll set a height and width. Take note, this is not the proper height and width. I just set some example for me to change it later on. Let's insert a paragraph. I'll use a lorem. Type in lorem, then hit your tab at the keyboard to generate a random text. Again, this is still just a test of the structure of our project. It's a bit off with the design. Well, at least we have inserted what is needed inside. Since a little bit confusing, let's remove the fluid on the second container to fit in with the first row. We are almost done. This is how it looks like. But we will encounter a problem on this part when it comes to the arrangement. For now, I'll change now the icon size into 64 by 64 px. Now if you've used an icon produced by Bootstrap, you no longer need with this size. Now, the problem is the arrangement when it hits a breakpoint of small screen size. Both images are connected. We don't want this to happen. We will arrange this using an order class. I also want to change how the paragraph inside the column to be arranged properly, so I will create another column inside. Let's cut this one out and create a new column inside this column. Create a column with a value of 10. The simple explanation for this is to have a unit of 10 at the center and 1 on both sides. This way we can set the paragraph inside to have a 10 value and 1 margin on the left and right of the paragraph. After we refresh this page, you will notice a change wherein it consumes the 10 unit size of the column. Next, I want this to behave to have an 8 size within the column when it will have a breakpoint of large screen. Then, set the row to justify content center, so that everything inside this row is centered properly. Notice the chance once we hit breakpoints from a large screen size, tablet, and even a small screen size for mobile devices. Next, apply a class with a value of lead on the paragraph. The class lead on Bootstrap will make the paragraph stand out from the rest. Look at the paragraph once we hit refresh the page. If you notice, the paragraph changes its size compared to a normal paragraph. Now, we want to hide the icon once we hit a mobile or small screen size. Inside UIcon, insert a class display none or d-none. This way, the icon is hidden, but we want it to appear to a certain breakpoints like medium or large. So head back to the display and set display large inline, meaning this will appear when we hit large breakpoint, but disappears in a small screen size. The only problem now is their arrangement once we hit a small screen. Set the order at the column area by using the order class with a specific number. Refresh the page to see the changes. However, this does not follow well what we really wanted. Go back, then set order when we hit a medium size. This way, it changes according to what we need to see. Lastly, we wanted to separate the rows from the top by applying margin top or MT followed by the value you want to apply. Explore with this part. We created a space between this part. You can duplicate the code to create an alternate design similar to what we have created. Now everything is behaving what we always wanted. We are almost done with a simple car website. Take note, we can always apply a lot of Bootstrap effects inside. This is just a way of customizing Bootstrap once we already understand how simple Bootstrap can be. Next, let's create a class name for this so that we can create our own CSS. You can insert any name that you want to call it. This way, I want all H2 inside the sample name class to have a CSS color of white. Set the font weight and font size. Next, I want to set all the paragraph inside the sample name class to behave differently. Copy and paste what we just created. At the last part, I am just going to copy all the columns and rows and create a new row to have an alternate design. After we copy, change again the order on who will appear first when we hit a breakpoint.